Let's do some practice converting between units. Okay, so I want to know how many yards are in 29 miles. Okay, so yards and miles are not the same unit, so I have to do some conversions. I'm gonna set my chart up. I have my starting units. My ending units. And my rule goes in the middle. Okay, so I always ask myself, what amount do I know? Well, I know 29. 29 what? Miles. So my starting unit would be miles. What do I want my answer to be in? Well, I'm asking for how many yards. So I want my answer in yards. So that yards would be my ending unit. I'm not going to do anything here yet. Now, I'm going to go to my reference chart and find the comparison between miles and yards. 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. I'm going to write that at the top of my chart. 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So now I'm using this comparison right here. Miles, 1 goes with it. So underneath miles, I'm putting a 1. Yards, 1,760 yards goes with that. Looking at 1 to 1,760, I'm getting bigger, so I'm going to be multiplying. 1 times what gives me this? 1,760. Okay, now here I'm going back to my problem. How many miles am I starting with? That's my 29. So then I'm going to use my rule on this next line, and I'm going to bring down the 1,760 right here. To figure out how many yards are in 29 miles, I'm going to multiply 1,760 times 29. Go ahead and pause the video and find that answer. I got 51,040 yards. All right. How many gallons are in 112 cups? That's where my gallon man comes in handy. All right, so I'm going to put starting units, or SU, ending units for ending units. I have to do this because I'm looking at comparing gallons and cups. And then I have my rule in the middle. Starting units. Well, what amount do I know? 112. 112 what? Cups. So I'm putting cups here. Then I want my answer to be in how many gallons. I don't have enough things here. It got cut off. All right, now I'm going to go use my reference chart. 1 gallon equals 16 cups. That came from my gallon man. 1 gallon equals 16 cups. How many gallons? 1. So underneath gallons, I'm putting a 1. How many cups? 16 cups. Okay. This right here came from my star reference chart. 16 to 1, I'm getting smaller, so I'm going to divide. 16 divided by what gives me 1? That would be 16. Look, I do have enough lines. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my problem. How many cups am I starting with? 112. Then I'm going to use my rule of divide 16. So I'm gonna do 112 divided by 16. It's gonna give me 7 gallons. Remember, you can make that top and bottom chart to help you with your 16s. I may have to zoom in on this one. All right. The length of one wall in Mr. Shelby's classroom is 29 feet. What is the length of this wall in inches? Okay, I'm looking at feet and inches. Not the same unit, so I have to convert. So I have starting units, my rule's already written, and ending units. I'm asking myself, 29 what? 29 feet. What do I want my answer in? What is the length of this wall in inches? Now I'm going to my reference chart to find a comparison between feet and inches. 1 foot, abbreviation feet, is equal to 12 inches. So 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So underneath feet, I'm gonna put a 1 because the 1 is attached to the foot. How many inches? I have 12. This came from my star reference chart. From 1 to 12, I'm getting bigger, so I'm multiplying. 1 times what gives me 12? That would be 12. So then I'm going to go back to my problem. And I'm going to ask myself, well, how many feet am I starting with? 29, so that's going to go here. My rule gets brought down. So to figure out how many inches are in 29 feet, I'm going to do the problem 29 times 12. That gives me the answer, 348 inches. 348 inches. Okay, we have the lengths of 2 insects are given. A ladybug is 10 millimeters long and a walking stick is 30 centimeters long. What is the difference of these 2 insects in millimeters? Well, difference means I'm subtracting and I'm wanting it in millimeters. So it means I have to figure out, okay, I have 10 millimeters, that works. And then I have 30 centimeters. Well, do centimeters and millimeters match? No. So I'm gonna have to convert. I have my starting units, ending units. Since I'm given 2 different numbers, I'm gonna go back to my question to figure out what I want my answer to be in. This says, what is the difference, subtraction, in length of these 2 insects in millimeters? So that means my answer will be in millimeters. So I don't care about that one right now. Centimeters. Okay, I'm starting with centimeters. Okay, now to my reference chart. Centimeters and millimeters. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. Centimeters is 1. Millimeters is 10. 1 to 10 gets bigger, so I'm multiplying. 1 times what gives me 10? That's 10. This is from my star chart. Now I'm going back to my problem See how many centimeters I'm starting with? That's 30. I'm gonna multiply it by 10. So I have 30 times 10 is 300 millimeters. That's not my answer though. That tells me that 30 centimeters is equal to 300 millimeters. Now I have to find the difference, okay? So now I'm gonna do 300 millimeters minus 10 millimeters. Millimeters, 0, can't do that. Bring 10 over, 10 minus 1 is 9. So my answer is 290 millimeters. Let's do one more. How many cups are in 16 gallons? Okay. 16 what gallons? So I know my starting units are gallons. I want my answer in cups. Let's go to the reference chart to find that relationship or comparison. I don't have gallons to cups here. That's when I would draw my big G, and I would have 4 quarts inside of that, 2 P's inside of each quart, and then 2 C's inside of each P for cups. Then I would get this figured out right here. And then I have 1 gallon equals 16 cups. 1 gallon equals 16 cups. All right. So, gallon equals 1, cups equals 16. I'm getting bigger, so I'm multiplying. Times 1 times what gives me 16? That's 16. I have 16 gallons in my problem, and I'm multiplying by 16. 16 times 16 gives me 256. So my answer is going to be 256 cups. I did go kind of fast. If you needed to rewind or pause any of that, you may do that.